It is Sunday, March 31st, and the Dong Report is back in your life. I'm Matt Modi, and I'm here to give you my 3 favorite MLB home run picks for today's MLB betting slate. Of course, before we can't get into today's picks, we got to do a recap of yesterday, where we had another day in the green. We had another profitable day yesterday, thanks to Mookie Betts. Once again, it was absolutely electric. He hit a home run in the bottom of the ninth. Thank you to that. He was the only one of our 4 predictions to hit a home run yesterday, but thanks to the juicy odds of home runs, we were able to have a day in the profit up half a unit yesterday. I've been playing all of these for just half a unit straight so far. Eventually, after I have a week or two's worth of data, I will upgrade these to full units. So hopefully the profits will be double what they have been. But as of right now, just playing a little bit safe, getting some data under our belts. But hey, we'll take 4 straight days in the profit. Thank you to Mookie Betts. On the entire season, again, this is all thanks to Mookie Betts, we are up 3.37 units so far. That includes the Seoul Series, which was played last week, and then obviously the 3 days so far, all of which Mookie Betts, I cannot name him enough, has come through for us. And then as for last year, we are up 61.15 units on the Dong Report as well. Very much hoping to exceed last year. And then, my goal is to get 100 units of profit. So eventually when we start upgrading these to full unit plays, we'll get closer to that as the season goes on. But enough of that. You're only as good as your most recent home run predictions. So make sure to like the video, make sure to comment. And then of course, if you are not already, subscribe to my YouTube channel to make sure that you get the dongs as soon as they come out. And enough of that. Let's get into today's home run predictions. Our first play is in the Tigers versus White Sox game, and I'm taking Spencer Torkelson to hit a home run plus 400 odds at FanDuel. So I will admit, there is a little bit of unknown with this play. Not with the batter, because Torkelson is awesome. More so with the pitcher. So Eric Fedde, hopefully I'm pronouncing his name somewhat correctly. He pitched in the KBO last year. He did not pitch in the MLB. But the reason why we are on this play is because it should, in theory, be a very good matchup for Spencer Torkelson to dong one. The source I use for this is Ballpark Pal. They literally list this as a plus 10 advantage in favor of the batter. That is the highest grade advantage that Ballpark Pal will give. They have it of a scale of minus 10, which a minus 10 is fully in favor of the pitcher. Plus 10 is fully in favor of the batter. And again, this is listed as a plus 10 in favor of Torkelson. And it does make sense when you dig into the numbers. Torkelson is a right-handed batter, and we have some data from Eric Fedde when he was pitching the majors from 2017 to 2022. He pitched there for 5 years before going to the KBO last year, and he was horrible pretty much every single year he pitched in the majors. Now, he did have a good year in the KBO last year. That is why this is a bit of an unknown. That's why he's back in the MLB, was because he had a good year in the KBO last year. But if you look at his last season in the majors, his home run per 9 against right-handed hitters was 1.87. That number of 1.87, that would have been the 4th worst in the MLB last season. If you look at his entire career against right-handed hitters specifically, it's 1.68 against righties. And that number is worse than it is against lefties, meaning he's a worse pitcher against right-handed batters than he is against lefties. Now, if you look at his stats in spring training, he was fine. He wasn't amazing. He also wasn't horrible. He was exactly what fine means. So not really much we can get from his spring training numbers. But according to Ballpark Pal, this should be a good matchup for Spencer Torkelson. And when you dig into his numbers, I kind of really like Torque as well. Now, if you look at his full season last year, you're not super impressed with his ISO rate against right-handed pitching. Like, if you look at the entire season, it was below the good threshold of 20% that we look for. But he got significantly better as the season went on, and he ended the season on an absurd hot streak. If you look at the data from August 1st until the end of the season, his ISO rate specifically against right-handed pitching was 24.7%. That is just below the excellent threshold. And for those of you that are new, ISO rate stands for isolated power. Literally just measures how much power a batter has. Anything between 20 and 25% is considered good. Anything that is 25% and above is considered excellent. So my threshold, I won't play anything below the good number, which you can make the argument that all year, if you look at his entire season, Torkelson wasn't in the good category, but he was from August 1st on. Again, 24.7%, just below the excellent threshold. And that was over 191 plate appearances. That's like a pretty decent sample size. I'm not just using like a tiny stretch or anything like that. And then his barrel rate, which just measures how well you hit, like how often you hit the barrel of the bat when you make contact, that was at 14.1%, and that was on the entire season. Now, for barrel rate, you, for whatever reason, you can't filter against splits, you can't filter against specific dates or anything like that. But for barrel rate, anything that is 10 to 15% is good. Anything 15% and above is excellent. So this one is just below the excellent threshold as well. He should dong one today, unless this new pitcher turns into like Spencer Strider or something like that. Next up, Yankees versus Astros game. I am taking Juan Soto to hit a home run, plus 475 odds. You can get this at BetMGM or Fanatics at that price. So next up for our second pick, this is another situation where the batter has an extreme advantage over the pitcher. This is another plus 10 advantage from Juan Soto over the pitcher for the Astros, JP France. And this is another situation that makes sense when you dig into the numbers, mostly from Juan Soto's side. Juan Soto is significantly better against right-handed pitching than he is against left-handed pitching. Looking at his career ISO rate against righties, 26.5%, 26.5. That's excellent. Against lefties, that is all the way down to 19.3%. So a career ISO rate of 26.5 against right-handed pitching, down to 19.3% against left-handed pitching. Literally the difference between excellent and not even good, below the good category. And then if you look at last year, it told a similar story. His ISO rate against lefties last year was 18%. Against righties, it was all the way up to 27.3%. So it's even more dramatic than his career splits in terms of the gap in his success against righties versus lefties. Unsurprisingly, JP France is a right-handed pitcher for the Astros. And then as for this season, it's obviously a small sample size, but Soto did dong one yesterday. He hit a home run yesterday, and he had another ball that he hit yesterday that was hit extremely hard with an exit velocity of 100.3 miles per hour. It just didn't quite have the launch angle. I'm not even close. It ended up turning into a double play, but he just crushed the ball. Now, for exit velocity and for launch angle, the sweet spot is anything 95 miles per hour and above, and anything launch angle between 25 and 35%. That's kind of the sweet spot for home runs. So he crushed one. He just didn't have the launch angle there. And then as for the Astros pitcher, JP France, I will admit he is a little bit better against left-handed batters than he is against right-handed batters, but his splits aren't nearly as dramatic as Juan Soto's splits between the two. And he's not a great overall pitcher either, whereas Soto is an excellent batter. Last year, his entire season, JP France had a home run per 9 of 1.25. That's not like among the worst in the MLB. That's still pretty bad. But his expected ERA was 4.66, and his actual ERA was only 3.83. That shows a little bit of that he had good luck. And if you look at some more advanced metrics, like he was like a barrel rate allowed and hard hit percentage allowed as well. He was bottom 20, bottom 25 of all MLB pitchers in those two categories. So he's not the worst pitcher in the MLB by any means, but he is not a great pitcher, and he is a pitcher that Juan Soto should have an advantage against. That's our second pick. Third up, our final pick of the evening, Guardians versus Athletics game. I'm taking Zach Gelof to hit a home run, plus 550 odds. This one is best offered at BetMGM. As always, we save our spiciest pick in terms of odds for last. As always, this is another play that I really, really like. Now, it's not a plus 10 advantage in favor of the batter. It's a plus 9. It's just one notch below the biggest advantage that Ballpark Pal will give. So I'm still comfortable playing a plus 9 advantage. Obviously, in this case, that would be Zach Gelof as the batter, having the advantage over the pitcher Carlos Carrasco. So Carrasco pitching for the Guardians, he's been in the MLB forever. Like he's been in the MLB since like 2008 or 2009. Good for him on that career longevity. Last year, he did not have a great year. That was for the Mets, but still, he did not have a great year. He had a home run per 9 of 1.80. Everybody knows by now that is a very, very bad number. And the advanced metrics show him as very bad as well. He had an expected ERA of 5.86. His home run to fly ball ratio, meaning how often does a fly ball turn into a home run, that was at 19.8%. That would have been the worst home run to fly ball ratio in all of baseball last year if he had pitched enough innings to qualify. He also allowed a barrel rate of 10.7% and a hard hit percentage of 48.2%. Both of those numbers are worse than the JP France numbers I gave out earlier. That would have been the third worst barrel rate in the MLB and literally the worst hard hit percentage in the MLB as well. And then lastly, he's a lot worse against right-handed batters than he is against lefties. His home run per 9 against righties was 1.94. That would have been like the third worst in the MLB last year. And then that's down to 1.62 against lefties, which is still really, really bad, but not nearly as bad as it is against righties. Now, Zach Gelof, right-handed batter, you might not have heard from him because last year was his first year in the MLB. He actually had a pretty good year, right? Like, it was his first year. He had an ISO rate of 23.7% overall, which is still good. That's in the good category, so we're comfortable with that. But against right-handed pitching, that ISO rate went all the way up to 29.8%. And obviously that is in the excellent threshold as well. Now, he has not yet hit a home run this year, but yesterday specifically, he absolutely crushed 2 baseballs. Both of them were in the desired miles per hour in terms of exit velocity. One was over 100, one was like just below 99. Couldn't quite get the launch angle right on either of them. One of them was a little bit lower than you would want. That one turned into a double. One of them was 25 degrees of launch angle, so the threshold that you're looking for just didn't quite get it enough power. That one ended up being a line out of 356 feet. Actually would have been a home run in one stadium. So at least, again, he's hitting the ball well. Excellent matchup. Should be able to get a hold of one tonight and send it yard. Hopefully he does as our third pick. Thanks to the juicy odds of home runs, we just need one of these three to cash in order to be profitable. If all 3 hit a home run, we will be rich. So let's hope for that. And that's all we got. 3 dong predictions for you guys to lock in. And the last thing that I'll mention, I mention it at the end of every video, is that I do have a Dub Club. It's only $5 a month. And the way Dub Club works is all the picks you see me give out on YouTube and on Twitter, you can get them sent directly to your phone immediately. So as soon as I decide what a play is, I send it out to the Dub Club. You'll get it texted to you, emailed, or Telegram, depending on how you want it. The logic being, not everybody has time to watch every YouTube video. Not everybody wants to watch every YouTube video, or by the time people watch them, the odds change. So I came out with the Dub Club. You get everything, again, sent to you early. As soon as I decide what a play is, I will send it out one play at a time to make sure that the odds don't change. I only charge $5 a month for it because I recognize everything you get on the Dub Club are the same exact picks that you can get for free on YouTube and on Twitter. I just like giving people the option of getting them immediately. But if you'd rather just pay for the best price of free and get everything for free on YouTube and on Twitter, totally fine with me. However you want to do it is completely cool with me. And that's all we got. Appreciate everybody for watching, and have a good one.